In the original bill creating Kentucky's soon-to-be medical cannabis program, there was a carve-out for local communities to opt out. In some communities, local leaders have already made that decision with a local resolution. However, in more than 50 counties and cities, it will be up to voters to decide if a medical marijuana program can operate locally. They may get a question on their ballot asking if they are in favor of medical cannabis sales.
Everybody was opted in at the beginning of the program, and so that allowed regular jurisdictions to figure out if they wanted to as well, kind of like how we do with alcohol.
Now, to be clear, no matter how the community votes, medical patients are free to still get cannabis anywhere else in the state, and if a community has opted out, it can opt back in at any time as the program continues to take shape. So, Representative Bray, I want to start with you here. You didn't support the original bill creating this in your hometown of Mount Vernon. This is going to be on the ballot. So, philosophical differences aside, I'm just curious what your perspective is as this issue moves forward, what the horizon may look like.
Yeah, like you said, didn't support the original bill, felt it was too broad. I mean, because I can't think of a single Kentuckian that wouldn't support getting a cancer patient the help they need or the help their doctor thinks they need. Felt the original bill was too broad. Within my home county, the county itself has banned medical cannabis sales within the county's jurisdiction. Like you said, the city of Mount Vernon, the council voted to put it on the ballot and let the voters decide. So much like alcohol sales within the state, where we may have a dry county or a dry city and a wet county next door or wet city, felt it was appropriate to leave it up to the will of the people because they're the ones that are going to have to see these establishments. They're the ones that are going to have to deal with the traffic and the customer base throughout their community. And so, I mean, it's appropriate. Locally, haven't heard a lot about the vote itself. It's been oddly quiet.
I don't know if it's been talked about all too much, to be honest with you.
That's fair. But yeah, a lot of people, I don't think know it's even going to be on the ballot until they go to the booth to vote.
Well, as you mentioned there, it was banned in your county. It's going to be on the ballot in the city. I'll bring in Senator Thomas here. I mean, do you think that there could be some potential confusion as we also look at Fayette County, for example? We didn't put it on the ballot here. It's automatically, we opted in. Again, do you think there's going to be any confusion?
I don't think there's going to be any confusion at all. I mean, we didn't have much confusion when we had alcohol sales. You know, we knew which areas were wet and dry. And I'm a strong believer, Bodie, in local control. I mean, if those areas don't want alcohol, they don't have to have them. Cities versus counties. Same for medical marijuana. And as you indicated, that even if your city or your county doesn't have it, you can still go to another county and buy it and bring it back to your house and use it. That's fine. Unlike Representative Bray here, I was always been a strong component, a strong proponent, I should say, of medical marijuana. I advocated for it since I came to the Senate in 2014. So I'm glad to see it's now law, though, and I think it'll be good for Kentuckians to have those medical uses for glaucoma and cancer and other ailments that are beneficial. Have beneficial uses for patients who use medical marijuana.
The one thing I do want to say, I think any kind of confusion about it being on the ballot is going to be kind of what you alluded to earlier. Medical marijuana is legal in Kentucky, and even if a community votes it out, it doesn't mean that citizens don't have access to that. And so I think there's going to be a lot of confused voters when they go in and they see this for the first time. They think they're going to be voting on whether to support medical marijuana or not, when it's really whether to support the sales within a community.
And there'll be some communities where it's being voted on by both the city and the county. So if you live in Georgetown, for example, you may get that question twice. We got a couple more seconds left here, y'all. Likelihood we may see any legislation around this in 25?
I mean, we passed it in 23.
That's correct.
And we had to come back in 24 and do some cleanup.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me if we don't have to further clean it up. I mean, every session we've had alcohol cleanup bills of some kind dealing with the regulation of the sale of alcohol, and I would see medical cannabis being the same.
It wouldn't surprise me. I think the tweaks in 25 will be minor. But it wouldn't surprise me to see some minor modifications to the legislation.
All right.